Right, so I'm going to do a short video on inequality with negatives. And before we begin, I just want to ask, how do we know that 1 is less than 3? I mean, that's certainly true. It seems like a pretty easy question. How do we know that? And I guess the easiest way to see is because as you go along, well, I mean, what do you think? Answer it for yourself, and then I'm gonna give my answer, and you can give your answer, and we'll see what our answers are. So now that you've had a good amount to think, 1 is less than 3, and the reason why, in my opinion, is because as we go further along the number line, the numbers on this side are bigger than the numbers over here. All right, so if the numbers are to the left, they're bigger. So if we were to take a look at this, and I said, oi, that's not what I said. If I said oi, that doesn't make any sense. If I had a -3 and I had a -1, well, which one's greater now? And what I'm hoping you're going to notice is that as I do this, and I'm purposely slowing down a tiny bit, even though I told you I was going to go quick, is now -3 is over here, and -1 is over here. So -3 is less than -1. And I think that's kind of a curious thing to notice. What's the relationship between these two? How are they the same and how are they different? All right, so I'm hoping you're thinking about this. And I really do hope that you're thinking about this and not just watching the video while, eating chips or something. I'm going to do one more with this picture here. I'm going to have a -1 and a +2. And now, obviously, -1 is less than a +2. And I'm going to color them in. Oh, goodness me. Here comes one of my favorite people of all time. What's up, Buttercup? Good. All right. So -1's less than 2. So because you might have just said, well, it has something to do with the positives and the negatives. If I had -2 and a +1, then -2 still makes sense because it's still further behind. All right. That's where those ones were less than. All right. What if I had something like x is less than 4? Well, maybe I don't want to do 4. If I had x is less than 2, put a circle there, and I'd put all of my values to the left. What if I had a -x and a -2? What do you think would happen? Well, no, I'm not really sure, actually. So I'm going to skip that. Let me rewrite this as -x is less than a +2. No, I don't want you to do it. Thank you, but thank you very much. Well, if I were to divide this by a -1, I divide this by a -1, a -x divided by a -1 is a +x, and a 2 divided by a -1 is a -2. So is -x less than 2 the same as x is less than -2? That's my question. So let's see. Let's pick something that's true. Let's say I knew that, well, let's pick a value. Let's say -3 was less than 2. All right. Please leave it alone. Thank you. Well, if I were now to divide that by a -1, If I divide this by a negative 1, I'd get a positive 3, and I'd get a negative 2. Well, I know that 3 is not less than negative 2. 3 is actually, in fact, greater than negative 2. So my question is, can I use a different color? Sure. Which color? Well, it looks like I'm going intergalactic again. So let's try one more. Let's say I had, negative 1 is less than 2. And now if I divide it by a negative 1 and a negative 1, I get 1 and I get negative 2. But I know that 1 is greater than negative 2. So I think what you should be seeing here is that the sign actually has to switch. And that's true no matter what happens. If we multiply or divide, and this is where you should really get out your piece of paper and your pencil. If we multiply or divide, and I hate giving you guys this, because it's good to find out on your own. By a negative number.
Then don't tell them.
I have to tell them because I'm not there to guide them. By a negative number over an inequality symbol. Over an inequality symbol. You must.
Daddy, you don't have to write that down.
Change the direction of the symbol. Ah! I ran out of room. I ran out of room on an infinite sheet of paper. The direction of the inequality sign. All right, so that's it. So
Dad, you can always erase some.
My daughter is too smart. So that's it. That's where I'm going to stop the video. Well, I'll do one last one. If I have negative x is greater than or equal to 6, let's make that a negative 6. I would divide by negative 1. That becomes a positive x. That becomes a positive 6, and I'd have to change my inequality sign.
Looks like a Y.
Why are you criticizing me? Anyway, I have to go get abused verbally by my daughter later on. All right.
And Lala.
Say bye-bye.